Hey guys, BJ the Brave here. Welcome back to the channel. We just had the top 8 finals from the SV Open kickoffs. And guys, what an amazing tournament this has been. I am so hyped. We have just seen Ars21 take down the tournament. For those who saw my top 8 winning decks video yesterday, you will have seen that Ars21 actually brought Wardhaven as well as mid-range Abyss. And guys, he managed to go all the way through the first 2 rounds without dropping a game, and then had an absolutely exhilarating final that went down to the wire against Itsuki. It was absolutely fantastic. Itsuki ran Roach Forest and mid-range Sword. Quick reminder, this was the Roach Forest of Itsuki, and this was the mid-range Sword. Just scroll down so you don't lose Amalia there. But guys, I really want to put the focus on Ars21 with, as I say, just playing absolute blindly. Went undefeated in the Swiss rounds, and then I think he dropped 1 single game in the whole set in the finals. Absolutely unbelievable. And just finding some brilliant lines with both this Haven Ward deck. Let's take a quick look at this one. You know, it's really interesting because it's very heavy on the wards. If you see my meta snapshot, I pretty much had this deck for the Wardhaven. The only difference is he managed to chip away 1 Leer and 1 Cleric, and that gave him space to run double Thunder. But yeah, we're actually right in that meta snapshot around the Cocytus being the way to go with Haven and having the triple Sarissa as well. And then also, just as interesting, and he played so well with this deck, was the mid-range Abyss. And this is a deck I really am keen to take for a spin on ladder myself. So let's take a look at the deck. I really like this because he's got triple Philodoo, and he is running triple Charon as well. And it's really nice because you can bring Philodoo back with Charon, and then you can actually Evo Philodoo to kill something instantly. We have got the triple mummies, which, again, in the late game, can have Storm. They combo really well with things like the triple Olivia. And then we've got Orthus, again, does really well on the Evo, which you can bring back from Charon. Interesting, this has been a theme more recently that people are starting to run the double Rage or triple Rage of Serpent. And that just gives this deck the ability to switch gears and to find that little bit of extra reach. Triple Ghastly Soray, which is just fantastic, right? Getting the ghost, the skeleton, and the zombie, giving us the value. And I really love the double Grimnar Heavenly Gale tech as well. This is basically ensuring that when we go off on our Super Evo, we get that crest. And it's also just a really good proactive 3-drop. Really good roadblock with the ward. And speaking of great 3-drops, Vuela, obviously with the rush, just doing work. And one of the things that was great when watching ours is remembering the combo here with the extra ability. So if you Super Evo a different unit, this also gets +2. It kind of feels a little bit like when you know, when you play Olivia and you Super Evo 2 units, it kind of feels a bit like a similar combo. And it's something that I perhaps was underusing personally, although Abyss is probably the class I've played the least of. I think that it's a really nice combo. You probably don't want to force it, but where the opportunity is there, it's definitely worth remembering. Now, he does run triple Shadow Crypt, and he has obviously triple Gravy, Arrogant Gravy, just a great clear and ability to, again, push with the Evo to push that damage if we need to. He has got a single Undead Soldier to give us a bit of stickiness in the mid-game. And then we have the triple Olivia, double Odin, double Medusa, triple Cerberus, and triple Jinsetsu and Yuzuki. So this is the deck, and yeah, he just played it so well. So I want to take this for a little spin on ladder myself. Let's get into a few games and see how we do. So first of all, we are up against Absolute Zero. He's actually a top tournament player himself. Almost qualified for the final A. I think he finished about 10th. And he's running Haven. So let's see how we get on. There's no 1-drops in this deck. So he drops the proactive 2/2. And we're actually going to curve out the extra player point for the Vuela. Into Grimnir. This is a really nice opener. Actually running the Quake Goliath. That's very, very interesting. This is actually not a bad card in the Wardhaven. Down comes Grimnir. Wonder if he's running that instead of like the Divine Thunders. It's kind of interesting. So we're going to play the Garvey just to clean up the board, and we are going to Evo. We got to see the Philodoo trap that we talked about with oh no, it didn't come out. Did it come out? I've totally forgotten what I played. I'm still thinking about it. Medusa is going to come down and then finish off these, and then we can actually clear. Really nice having Medusa and Odin on 7, which can deal really nice with Wilbert. Okay, let's see how we get on against Swordcraft. So again, no 1-drop. So down comes Prim. And we're going to drop our Orthrus. Takes that out with a Samurai. But that does mean he's not able to develop Grim, so we're going to take that out with Vuela. And he returns the favor with a Valse. I wasn't sure about this turn. I kind of played out doubles, and it does mean that now this is in the pool for Charon or Charon. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a great turn, but the only other thing we had was Philodoo Evo. Just play 2 and just float 3 player points. That was the only other player that we really had there, I think. This is quite a nice board to clean up with a Aragrave. We decide not to Evo. Down comes Odin. He's definitely trying to put some pressure on. Kind of wondered whether we should have super evoed there to put us down into Albert range, but obviously we have the heal anyway. We'll use our last normal evolution point on Philodoo just to build a semi-decent board, clear the Odin. Down comes his Olivia. Into Prim. I think this is going to be a super evo, yeah. Play de play. Play de play. Thought hard about this turn. Originally I was thinking about Medusa, but then I think I found a better player here. Because I want a super evo Charon, and then we get the value, right? Trying to match sword and value is not easy anyway, so having the 3-drop coming down at the start of every turn is really going to help. And he finds a way to deal with it without using his last super evo, which I think is quite important. So we go with Aragavi and the skeleton here. So we play Grimnir. Playing a little bit conservatively here, and I kind of made a choice about which one of these to keep alive, and I decided I didn't want additional rush units coming on. And as he's playing Zirconia, I'm kind of somewhat happy with that decision. And now I'm glad that I saved the Medusa, because I think this is exactly the kind of turn. His super evos are gone. He's got a decent board. Bring down the Medusa, slap the zombie down. It's Amelia. And yeah, he leaves it there. Okay, so we've got Runecraft. Just keep the Philadu and Vuela. So we drop the Philadu down. I think the thinking here was that, you know, I'm thinking about the Charon on 5 and I want the Philadu to be the target. It is the problem with the mummies, I guess. It's kind of like a question of do you play the mummies down then before 5 and just... This turn was a big one because I could play double mummy, but I actually decided to do this because I'm kind of wondering whether we're going to get the Anangria. But as it turns out, we actually get onions. So we do the Aragravi. And we do Evo here, and I kind of wonder whether this was correct, but really trying to put some pressure on Rune. And so because we kind of committed to that line, we play consistently, right? Like the next turn, we sort of Evo the Storm unit and continue to put pressure on. Now the Grey has come down. This is really nice, Alan Greyer, for him, obviously, with the Evo here. So now we Charon and we look for the Philadu. But at this point, the mummy has come down, right? So now, unfortunately, we... of course, we get the mummy. So we Super Evo the Charon to get the crest. But he heals. Another Anangreya. Rune doing rune things, my friends. Rune doing rune things. And we're down to 10 health all of a sudden. With very little board. So we're going to go with Olivia here. The nice thing here with Vuela coming back is that obviously if we Super Evo, we get this Vuela bonus. So we can now basically clear all of the big units, right? Do a little bit of overspill damage and yeah, it's just the onion left. So not a bad turn. But we're now out of Evos. He's still got one Super Evo. Down comes Kion. I think he uses the Super Evo here. Yeah, of course he does. Clears our Olivia and he has the ward up. So we are looking for some of our, you know, we're looking for our Jinsetsu, our big units. We do have to Odin here. I don't think we played this particularly right, to be honest. Maybe we should have used Rage and Vuela to trade and done more damage to face with Odin. What might have been correct. And then we fall into second Q on. At this stage, it's looking pretty desperate. We're counting our lethal damage. We've currently got 1, 2, 3... I think 6 damage we had from hand. But obviously he's got the ward up. And he has 8 health anyway. So, Almost, but not quite enough. Not close. Close, but not close enough. So yeah, I really want to figure out that rune match. But now we got Forest. Let's see how we get on here. Now, ours actually did play against Forest in the tournament. Really exciting match. So let's see how we get on. So we're going to drop the Orthrus first. Into the Vuela to clear. Fairy Tamer. Okay. Bug Alert. Oh, that doesn't clear. So we're going to play the Ghastly, Skeleton, and the Philodoo here. And that's cool. That extra tempo forces out an Evo on the Fairy Tamer to kill Philodoo. So I'm kind of happy with that. Charo brings Philodoo back anyway. So we're going to Evo the Philodoo, kill the Fairy Tamer, and just present a decent board. Has he got Glade? Glade would deal well with this. No, he hasn't. So he's using May. Gets the cairn down. Start banking those 0 costs. But again, having to Evo because we've played very proactively. We're forcing him to use his resources to remove. Garden Allure, double Garden Allure. Is it? No, just played it. Fused and then played it. Yeah. Okay. Down comes the Godwood. So he's drawing. He's trying to set up, but we're going to Odin this. Such a nice target for Odin. Definitely going to Evo. We're going to Super Evo the Rotting Zombie. Voella's going to get the buff, remember, from the Super Evo. Yeah. That's pretty much it, right? Yeah, calls it a day. Calls it a day. Okay, we've moved over here. Let's actually take the Haven deck for a spin as well. Okay, so we're playing against Swordcraft, and he's got the Tempo Lance Trooper. So we're actually just going to play Sarissa out. The good thing about Sarissa is it's just a 2-2, right? So you can just play it on Tempo, obviously. It's not the fancy way to play it, but it can be done. We're going to drop the Grimnir, get the Crest in play. Iron Crown, not seen that for a while. Especially at Master Rank, not really. It's not a bad card, it's just not being played too often. It's pretty good there though, right, with the Lance Trooper on board. This seems like some really aggro version of Sword. Yeah, definitely. Wow. Not seen this type of Sword for a while. But we've got the Slepher anyway, so I think the problem with this kind of all-in aggro is just one AoE just kind of tends to be GG. Speaking of which. Alright, let's take a look against Rune. So I noticed that so we actually played the layer out here, but I noticed watching Azza that he actually often plays the Charetta out initially, and layers on turn 4, where often especially if you're in second, you can even Evo, and he's not scared to Evo layer. Just something I picked up on watching him through the tournament. Should we get the card draws going here? It's a bit of an awkward turn for us here. So we actually decide, because the Slepha's just not really doing much with that board, so we actually go with the Grimnir and just enhance our card draw. Does mean we end up taking 6 damage to face, though. It's a lot of cards we just drew. All right, down comes Wilf. Wilbert, even. Wilf. His name's Wilfred now. He's got the Eldervice. That should help deal with this board pretty handedly. Along with the Anangria. And this looks like a much better Slepha, especially because we can Divine Guard as well to kind of like clean up the board. We get a little bit of heal, which is kind of needed here as well. Oh, it's getting late here, guys. It's getting late here. So much fun staying up and watching the tournament today. Just awesome. Just can't wait to get more live streamed tournament play. It's just awesome. Really invigorating. We're going to play the Xian down to clear the board. Stormy Blast, 17. Just a cool 17 for 1 player point. Now, we are somewhat behind here on health, but we're going to play the Odin down and just take out the Anangria and I think not attack here. Hide behind another ward. See if we can survive. Down comes Norman. Draws 3 cards, puts down the Golem. And the crest clears up the board. So we've both got 1 Super Evo left. And what I really like is obviously having that last one on Cocytus, because Cocytus can be awkward to get down, but we can drop it here. This is sort of somewhat what we're looking for, right? He's got like 1 decent unit, 1 threatening unit. We can Super Evo to kill it. And get the Cocytus into play. And this is kind of like what we're hoping against Rune, right? Is that we can get the Cocytus down first. 20 damage from that. Wow. Wow. Now, this can be the problem, though. This is how you can get punished with Cocytus. Fortunately, we have the other Xian. It looks good, right? But look at this Stormy Blast. Just a cool 19. And 12 from Flames. Rune doing rune things, my friends. Rune doing rune things. And we might as well heal back up to 19 while we're at it. So we do play out the hand. We do use the Divine Guard. I know it looks like a bit of a waste, but the problem is that card might actually do nothing. Because we don't have any more Vanguards in the deck now, right? Now here comes his Cocytus. Has he got the decline? He has, of course. Silly question. Down comes Norman. So really, the Demon of Purgatory here, able to help us clear the board and essentially just get that damage in first. So really it was a Cocytus race, right? And this is kind of like the point of having this in Haven. It allows us to compete with Rune and to try to do something against it in the late game. All right, so we've got Portal. Now, is it puppets or is it artifacts? Let's have a look. So we get the card draw, and we're going to Leo. It's puppets. Potentially. To be honest, both versions run this card, right? Grimnir. Everybody seems to be running Grimnir now. It's caught on. Card's just good. So we're going to try and hide the Sarissa, but unfortunately he has the Stream of Life, which now makes me think that this is Artifact, and indeed it is. So he disguised that fairly well. And Evos for the tempo and the clear. Fortunately, we have Selefa here, so we'll use an Evo of our own. Bullet's fine. It's not developing the board. Down comes Wilbert. Has he got the Odin? Don't think they run it, do they? Don't think the artifact builds run it. Okay. This was a misplay. I'm not really sure why I boosted the Sarissa, to be honest. Especially if we're just going to then trade. Oh, not sure what he's... I guess that's just a resignation, right? I guess that's just a resignation. So pretty cool to take the Haven for a run as well. I think both of these decks are really good fun, guys. Definitely recommend you trying them out on the ladder. So yeah, guys, this is the deck list. I'm really keen to play a little bit more with the deck and definitely test out. But you know, we played up against some pretty good meta decks there, and we did quite well. So this deck clearly has legs. It's definitely worth going and watching the VOD if you didn't watch Ars play in the tournament. He did absolutely amazingly well. So once again, massive shout out to Ars for taking the first slot he has now in the Grand Prix finals, which will be happening in December for the big 100 million yen. So I can't wait to see him. And I've got to say, I'm just super happy that he took the tournament down, like having the courage to bring the Ward Haven and to bring, you know, a somewhat slightly different mid-range Abyss deck. Really cool. And yeah, awesome. If you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Go check out the meta snapshot and some of the guides on the channels. Thanks for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.